Hello friends, happy January. It is cold outside, so there will be no filming in the garden basically after this point until the weather gets better. It's far too cold to spend too much time out there. First off, let's start by talking about finished objects. Ta-da! I finally finished my sweater. So this is the Flax sweater by Tin Can Knits. I started this sweater a long time ago. This was actually the first sweater I ever cast on, and I finished one of the sleeves. I talked about this in a few videos ago, and one of the sleeves I finished, and then I realized I learned that I was twisting my stitches. Like as I was knitting, I was twisting. So there's several projects that I had made that I twisted my stitches. And so then I got discouraged. It was like, oh great, I didn't do it right. Am I gonna have to rip out the whole sweater and start over? So it sat on the needles for quite a while I debated and did other projects of whether I was gonna frog the sweater or not. And you guys all were very encouraging and were like, finish the sweater. It's really nice. It's a style, like twisted stitches is a thing. It's a design choice or whatever. Like you don't have to rip it out just for that. So that was encouraging. Thank you. I did also find out something else I did wrong. So when I got to the cuff, I was like, this is definitely bigger than it should be. So I realized that I hadn't done any of the decreases in the sleeves. So this being my first sweater, I didn't realize that was a thing that I needed to go back and read the pattern for. I didn't super read the instructions, obviously. It is a free sweater, by the way. So, or a free pattern on Ravelry, Tin Can Knits. So, all in all, I guess of this sweater is it is a great beginner knit. It really wasn't hard to follow the pattern if you pay attention to what you're supposed to be following. But really, like, for not doing the sleeves right, it still turned out nice. It's still cozy, and it's definitely, the sleeves are very baggy and wide, but I think that will make it really nice for layering. So if I want to put a button-up shirt underneath here and layer it, then it'll be easy to roll up the sleeves if I want to. The sleeves were long enough after I blocked it. I do prefer really long sleeves, but I think that if I had them longer in this sweater, it would start looking sloppy, and it's supposed to be a nicer looking sweater. So it'll be nice to wear to work. The sleeves did stretch out a little after I blocked it, which was good because I was trying to decide how long to knit the sleeves because I do have pretty long arms and I don't like the feeling of the sleeves being, I don't love the bracelet link sleeve or shorter than that, unless it's supposed to be like quarter length. But in the winter, I like my sleeves to come like all the way down my arm. So as far as the neckline goes, I don't love that there is no shaping in the back. It is a yoke raglan, and I feel like I keep doing this. So I think if I were to knit this sweater again, it's a great basic, but I would probably do shaping in the back. Also, trying to get this thing finished. This is so pretty, right? The sleeves, but it is really annoying when you're working on the sleeve and you have to switch back and forth. And then you can see there's one row. I'll show my dirty laundry. No, I'm kidding. But like, you can see there's one row that I messed up, and the purl bumps are on there wrong. But I was like, you know what? I don't care at this point. I just want it to be done, and no one is really going to notice. I'm obviously showing you so you know, but you probably wouldn't be able to tell either. It's only going to be me, and I'm not going to wear this sweater that much that it's going to bother me. And if it does, I can rip it back past because it's really not very far. I could just rip it back and fix it, but I didn't realize it until I was done with the cuff, and then I noticed, oh, whoops, there's one little purl bump row that I missed. Anywho, I am just really happy that this is now a finished project. This is off my needles, and yes. So that was really exciting. Okay, so as far as other finished projects, I did finish a pair of gifted socks that I gifted over Christmas, and I finished them just in the nick of time. I gave those to my father-in-law. They are matching socks that I made for my husband. So I made my husband a pair, and I made my father-in-law a pair to try to get a picture of them together wearing their socks. But my husband actually forgot to take his socks with us on Christmas. We're going there in a few weeks, so I will try to remember for him to bring them, and maybe I can get a picture of both their feet together. So maybe the next podcast I'll pop that on there if that ends up happening. Okay, that might be all of my finished objects. So let's talk about, before I go into whips, let's talk about the things that I got. So I didn't get a whole lot of things. I did get something kind of fun. Where is it? Her company is Summer Day Crochet, and it comes in this cute little box. So what it is it is a year in yarn 2025. So it's a planner basically. And although I have another planner where I'm writing down my projects, I am not very good at it. I struggle with writing down notes. I like power through a project, or I set it down and I don't write down the notes. I don't ever have a pen next to me when I'm working. And yeah, I just am not good at it. I need to make a point this year to really do better at writing down my notes. So I bought this. It's a bullet journal and project log for knitters and crocheters. And it has several different, it has calendars in it. So the whole year calendar. I haven't done any of this yet, but this is my vision board for 2025. So I need to work on this. I did start filling out January, so I probably won't show you that. But I do have it says important dates, monthly goals, things I want to finish. So it has I want to finish my bingo sweater this month. We'll see. That's what I'm going to work on now. Okay, so this is, we'll talk about this later, because that's what I need to start thinking about. Is I have these whips, and we're going to talk about this later, and we'll look at all my whips, and maybe I'll decide which ones I'm going to work on in what order. That's kind of my plan for January, is I want to get some of these whips done, so I don't, things that I want to finish, I want to get done. Things that I'm not going to finish, I want to frog. Or put them in the archive or whatever. Maybe someday we'll finish them, but so it goes up until month December, and then I don't know, she might have a few of these left. If you want to just look on her website. This is the end of year review, so this is what I'll fill out after 2025 is over. And then the vision board for next year, the following year. And then she's got inventory lists in here. So you like yarn inventory, pattern database. I probably won't write on all of those pages. Handmade gift list. Like, these are great ideas. I just don't think I will spend time transferring all my pattern library over. Maybe I'll put like a knitting queue there. Like, I'll scratch out pattern library and put knitting queue, because that I can see wanting to do. There's a completed projects overview. So that's kind of cool. Oops. I dropped it. My dog jumped. She's on the couch. And then the completed project logs. These I'll probably do, especially for like sweaters. I don't know how many sweaters I plan on finishing this year, but I do have a few that I would like to get finished. And then in the back, there are pages. There are blank pages and bit pages. So I think I went ahead and made myself a chart for all the sock finishes. I would like to keep track of how many socks that I finish in 2025. I signed up for a new subscription. It's the Freckled Whimsy self-striping yarn. I signed up for the DK weight, so I'll be making, so I got the DK weight because it knits up a lot faster. This is the finished one. Here, I'll grab a blocker. These are going to be like a really cozy house sock. And I'll probably give these to my mom. I think she'll like them. So there's one. There's the rest of my ball of yarn. I meant to weigh it and see. I did end up putting, this is a color that was in my stash that I actually dyed that yarn. So I did that for the heels and the toes. But I didn't know, like, from this color, what colors they were going to be. They're very Valentine-y. I think the tag is like love is in the air. The other whip that I have is this one. I'm going to get this finished today because they're practically done already. And I'm pretty sure I showed you guys on the last video this sock. This is, let's see, I'll find these are going to be for my mother-in-law, and I am on the toe. So the funny thing about that I didn't realize, I messed up. You see the hearts are going to be going a different direction. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't care. It's going to be like, because I messed it up. I was reading the chart upside down. I was like, oh, it'll add character to the socks. All you knit is love, and that's the pattern, and it came out of this book. So that is almost done. I will have those finished by the end of the day because I just have the toe left and sewing in all the ends. Honestly, I think sewing in the ends will take longer than finishing the toe, which is kind of funny. Is sometimes like I put off sewing in the ends just because I want to start another project so bad. Those are the projects that I have just recently started and I'm planning on finishing really quickly. Now, let's talk about whips. And this is every whip. We're going to talk about all the whips that I have, and I'm going to show them to you, and then we'll decide if I'm going to finish them or not. I'm going to the archives first. And this is the second sweater that I have ever cast on. This is another one that is twisted stitches. So once I realized I was doing it with this, it was like everything I have on my needles is wrong. And this is not a small project, okay? This is the boxy sweater. It's really big and loose. So then I was like, oh no, I can't finish it because it's wrong. But now that I've gotten over the fact that twisted stitches are fine, it would probably look better if it was just knit stitch, but I've already got like, I don't know, 15 inches or something knit for this sweater. I'm about to start the splitting for the front and the back. So this one has been on the needles for a while just because I didn't know. It's so much work though, like it's fingering weight, that I can't just rip it out and be okay with that. So I think I probably will finish it. But this is not an immediate finish. This is a sweater that I think I would like to have. But because the construction is bottom top, it seems like I'm gonna have to really think through, like, I don't know if my gauge is gonna totally change when I split for the front part and the back part, because it's not in the round. So yeah, I'm just, we're gonna see how that one pans out. That one's probably gonna sit on the back burner for a little bit longer. The yarn I used for that is Hawthorne Fingering Blackbird Kettle Dye. It's Knit Picks yarn, and I'm sure they don't have it anymore, so I can't run out of yarn. There's several balls in here still, but yeah, I feel like I bought enough of it, but if I get to where I have to play yarn chicken, we're like, we're done. There's not any more yarn. Okay, so whip number 1, that one is going to be archived. Let's see what's in this bag. This is another bag that I made. I do like to sew. Oh, okay, this one has this is like my first Colorwork sock, and I stopped working on these because it's too tight to go on my foot. However, on a trip that I took a while back, I brought this with me to see if my sister or my mom, any of my sisters or my mom could wear them, and one of my sisters was like, oh, these are made for me, they fit me perfect. So I was like, okay, so now I know I can make a second one and someone can wear them, because otherwise I was just gonna be like, we're just gonna have one sock, and that's okay. we learned some new techniques, we learned how to do different things. So now that I know they will fit someone, all the stuff that I was working on with these and some bonus needles, I'll take those out of there, are in this bag. So this is a finish, and probably the sooner I can get them done, the better, because it'd be nice to get those to her while it's still cold outside. But I'm not highly motivated to finish them. Let's put them in the maybe February. Maybe in February I will tackle those. So I'm got piles down here, and maybe I'll do a tally or something above. I don't know how to do that though. So we've got one in the archive, one in the finish in February pile. Okay, let's look in this bag. This is a Knit Picks bag. It's the Kitchener stitch on the outside. When I was first doing a lot of sock knitting at the start, these bags were like super handy because it reminded me how to do the Kitchener stitch. So I put my socks in it. And now like I don't need something to remind me. I've got that down, but that was very helpful in the beginning. Okay, so what are we gonna find in here? These are, if I can get them out, gloves. So they are at the point where all I have to do is the fingers and the thumbs. I don't know if I've shown these off yet, but I have a sock head hat that has the same yarn. And these are literally, like I could probably try this one on since it's on the longer needles. So you can kind of see. Watch out of the way. I think they'll be really nice. I think I would like to get them done soon. So there's a pair of circulars here that I need to get off the needles. Like, I don't think I realized I have these. They're a 1.5 that I could use for socks. So I need to get this project done. Okay, this is a due soon. Like, I'm gonna attempt to finish them in January. Next bag. This is another bag that I made. This is actually a pattern that I designed, like the fabric, on my Spoonflower shop. So this is a shawl. Let's see, you're never supposed to stop in the middle. Anyway, this is something that I was doing. I don't know. You know what I should do? I should just like go ahead and cast it, finish this row, cast it off, and have a tiny scarf, because I don't think I'm going to. Oh, my dog. I gotta stop really quick. It's like, if I don't stop her, then it's gonna be loud, and all you're gonna hear is her crunching on a paper plate, tearing it to bits. Okay. So this one, I can't even remember what pattern it was. I will just finish that and it will be something, and it's either that or frog it, but I feel like I've done enough work that it could be like a tiny little scarf. That's kind of a thing, right? So let me put that back in the bag. I don't know if I want to finish it immediately. That might go in the archive, and then I had some really nice needles just sitting in this bag. Might go in the archive just because I don't know exactly when I'm gonna finish it. But I'm just gonna do that and get it off the needles. Okay, next bag. This is a pattern that I designed. I can't remember if I have it. I think I had it on my Etsy shop for a little while to purchase. It's another bag that I made. Oh, this one. You guys have seen this shawl. Let's see. I don't want to drop any of the stitches. I need to finish this. I don't know where it was the last time you guys saw. I obviously haven't been working on it for a while, so probably because that's where my marker is, so I haven't made very much progress since the last time you guys have seen it. So that is a finish. That's not a frog. Maybe February. Let's put that in my February pile. So not immediately, but I would like to get that one done. Okay. Next bag. This is some of the bags that I made for the craft fair that I talked about in the last video. This is my cowl. And I really would like to spend some time on this one because I don't think I've gotten any really further since I showed it off last video. But I did purchase, some black yarn to go with it because there are sheep that I thought about adding. And none of the colors that I had picked out really went with sheep. I was gonna see if I could find it real quick so I'd remind myself what it looked like. I could show you the little sheeps. Aren't they cute? So I thought I might do the big sheeps in the next row. Their little faces are black. So we'll see. But I want to use that for my dog walks. So I really want to get this done. So that is a due soon. So gloves and a cowl for me. I think it's okay. I've done a lot of knitting for other people, so it's okay to have a few selfish knits for myself. I have another Kitchener bag. And in here I have a sockhead hat. It looks tiny, but they stretch out. They're really big. So these are just great hats to have. They're really cozy. They're kind of slouchy. And so I'll probably finish this and just keep it either for one of my kids, probably for my youngest. He'll probably end up wearing it. But it's like maybe halfway done. And I'm using Knit Picks yarn. Let's see. It is the Painted Hills colorway. It's very pretty. I really like the colors. I feel like I should have bought more of these. But that's definitely a finish. It's not immediate. Maybe March. It's like I don't want to put it in the archive, but I don't know if I'm going to get it done in February. Maybe I'll put it in February's pile and then we'll reevaluate. Okay, this bag is another bag that I've made. I guess I make a lot of bags. These were socks that I wanted to finish in the summer and I didn't finish them in the summer. They've been on the needles for so long. They're kind of a pattern I just made up. I think I cast like 80 stitches on at the top because I have pretty wide calves and I wanted them to go all the way up. So they're very long socks. I want them to fit really comfortable. And I'm literally at the foot, like I've already turned the heel, so I only have a little bit further to go. So I could get these done. I'm gonna put these for January because it would be nice. They might end up getting finished maybe at the 1st of February, but I'm gonna put them in the January pile because those I would really like to have for winter. What else I have in here? See what I mean? Like I have too many like I want to start new projects, but I have so many. Okay, this could probably be a frog. So I dyed this yarn. It's like a pooling yarn. So this is a sample that I knit up with the knitting machine just to kind of see the colorway. And then I also knit the same yarn hand knit, and I started knitting a hat. I can't even remember what hat I knit, but I stole the needles and I was going to use this to finish, and at this point I think I just want to rip out everything and put this yarn in my stash. But I love how the colors turned out. I'm calling it watermelon. I have a few different skeins of it, but I wanted to knit it up for samples so you could see, like, in a loose colorway, like knit up on the knitting machine. I think this might be a 40 stitch. It looks like this. And then this is a hat, so it's probably 100. And it's really thin stripes. This would probably make some cute socks. I think I will rip these out. These will be a frog, and maybe they'll end up being socks later. But they are the same colorway. That's just funny how one colorway can look so different knit with different stitches in the round. Okay. Do I have a frog pile yet? No, so that will be my frog pile. Okay, another bag. This is my bingo sweater, and I'm not sure why that yarn's in there, so I'm going to take that out of that bag. Oh, I know why that yarn was in there, because I was going to bring this to fix. I have a little kit in here to fix socks. I'm going to take it out though. And I was going to fix some of my mother-in-law's socks, but I think they are just done. So I'm making her some new ones. Okay. This is my bingo sweater, and I have not made any progress. So we're still on the yoke. And I might go ahead and rip this back because I didn't do any. It's originally written not to have any shaping, any back shaping, but I think she made a correction to, or not a correction, but some people wanted the back shaping so that I wouldn't have this going on. If this bothers you, you want to do shaping. So this is a yoke sweater, and so it's made virtually like this one, and I think I might rip it back and make it with the back shaping, because she has an adaptation to the pattern to where you can do that, and I think I will do that. I had already had that finished before she put that out because I was making it as we were doing the pattern. So it's Julia, is it Julie or Julia? Julie. And I don't want to try to say her last name. Wait, is it on here? She has a knitting group, and you can join her knitting group and get the pattern, but you have to be subscribed to her group, and you can do the knit along for this bingo sweater. It's just a very nice, simple sweater. I think what I love about it, I thought it would be fun to knit along, and then I thought it would challenge me to keep up with knitting, and my life is just busy, and I have realized that it doesn't matter if I have a challenge with other people. If I have other things going, I am not going to get it done. But I do want to finish this bingo sweater because this yarn that I ordered for it is just gorgeous. It's light and fluffy, and just like the name, Air, it's like airy and soft. So I want the finished product, and I think I want it to fit really, really nice. So I think I will rip it back and redo it. So technically I'm going to frog it, but I'm going to still knit it. So I think I'll put it in the February pile, because I don't want to put it in the frog pile because I'm not actually going to frog it, but I am going to restart it. Yeah, but we're almost done. This bag, this is actually a Coach bag from one of my purses. This is a sweater that I've started for my husband. See how far we've gotten? We're pretty much just doing the back neck shaping so far. We're not very far yet, but it's a waffle. It's kind of like a waffle pattern on the top. I think it's going to be a really nice sweater. It's a lot of learning new things, so I haven't had the brain space to pick it back up. But I think now that I feel a little more confident, I will probably be able to pick it up and go with it. I'm going to put it in the February pile, but I don't know if I will have it. There's a lot that's a lot of knitting for me to get done in a month. So I feel like that one might get pushed back. That might be a next year sweater. We'll see. I'm still gonna keep it like in the burner because like I don't want to rip it out. I want to make it, but I'm not a fast knitter. I want to get it finished. Okay, let's see the next bag. This is a hat. So this is a hat that I made on my knitting machine, and then I was gonna finish the ribbing by hand, and I don't know if I'm gonna get finished with it. This might be a frog, because I just don't know. It's really big, so I just think it's too long here. It's really slouchy. I don't know if I'll wear it, but it seems like a waste to rip it out, but I think it will probably get frogged because I can take that pom-pom off and save it and remake it. So frog number 2. This might be my last bag. Okay, and it's stuffed. What's in here? Oh, okay, headbands. This was when I was making stuff for the craft sale. So this is headbands that I was finishing. So this is a finished one, and there's one in progress in here. These are gonna go in the archive because I probably will finish those, but I don't have an event that I'm gonna sell them at right now. So those would just be like if I have time or a reason to do them or someone to give them to. Those are gonna go in the archive. I've got 2 frogs, 3 archives, 3 for January, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for February. I think I have discovered that I love making socks, and I like having other projects on the needles, but if I sit for like 5 or 10 minutes, I'm gonna be knitting socks. I think when I have time to sit and knit for longer periods of time, that's when I will get out a sweater or like a bigger project. I think that's why I tend to knit socks more, because I have short bursts of knitting time. Thank you guys for watching my rambling and talking about all the things that I want to finish and things that I feel like that's not too bad. That's a lot of whips, and I think this is the year I get a handle on my whips, and we'll see when I can finish everything. Oh, I know there's another whip I didn't show you guys, but it's this shawl that is basically a scarf with sleeves. So I have started it, and I've started doing the scarf part. So this is where the sleeve ends. I'll show it folded in half. Maybe I can show it in the same screen. So this is how much I've got done so far. So if I were to put it on, it's gonna totally mess up my sweater, but you can see this is not very far yet. It needs to wrap all the way around my body, and then I can do the next sleeve. So since we like halfway would probably be it when I get it all the way to this shoulder, that would probably be halfway, and then I have to do the other side and then the whole other next sleeve. But this is gonna be so warm, so I could like wear a tank top or something around the house and then put this on over it, or one of those long sleeved, a thin long sleeve shirt with it. Anyway, I'm excited to have this as a finished product, but it's going to take a long time to knit. So this is, it's not an archive because I would like it. It's kind of one of those things where I'll put it in the February pile, but it's probably going to be a next winter, be done by next winter thing. Kind of like my husband's sweater that I'm making. So that's another WIP. This Taylor Swift, remember the Taylor Swift dress that was a few months ago? I was gonna make one, and yeah, I don't crochet that much. I think what this might end up being is not a dress. I might just end up crocheting a pretty blanket, because I started it in, I was gonna do like a big panel and then leave it open for the neck. But I think more likely is it's going to be a blanket that's inspired by Taylor Swift's dress. I think is what I've decided, because I don't think I will finish it as a dress, but I love the colors that I picked out for this, and I think it would be a really nice cozy throw to put on the back of my chair. So that's it's not an archive. It's definitely like, well, maybe it's an archive. I'll probably put it as a blanket projects. They tend to be a work on as you have time, or as I get in the mood to do it. So that won't be done anytime soon, but the project changed. It was going to be a sweater dress, and now it's going to be a blanket, and that's okay, because I'll probably get more use out of it as a blanket, to be honest, than as a dress. So that will be fun to see how it develops. Okay, I think we might be done now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and give me a thumbs up if you liked this video. That way YouTube knows that it's good content and people like to watch it. Please subscribe if you don't want to miss any of my other videos, and see what I end up doing with all of these WIPs, and see the finishes that I come up with. If anything, you know, there's probably going to be a finished pair of socks next month. At least that. But thank you guys for watching. Stay warm out there. It is a cold winter, this one. I think it's going to be a cold winter. And snow. Everybody's getting snow. Bye.